Hi, I'm Andy Cline. Welcome to my series, What I Learned Watching Documentary Films. Today, we're going to talk about Nomadland. Not a documentary, but a lot to learn there. So, as I walk through this rather desolate and strange environment, let's talk about a rather desolate and somewhat strange but very good film. It did win the Oscar for best film this year. Today's thing to learn, actually two things to learn, about what documentary look and feel is, but also good storytelling without relying on formal interviews. There is nothing wrong with formal interviews. In fact, they can be very important. And by formal interviews, I mean a subject is sitting in a studio or in some other sort of formalized setting and being asked questions. I really like direct cinema, and by that I mean as much as is possible the documentary filmmaker living alongside the subject, pointing camera at reality and trying to stay out of it. There are certain issues about that aren't quite that simple, and we'll talk about those at another time. Anyway, if we look at Nomadland, the very start of it, we notice we start with text. We start with text. And that's a very typical sort of documentary thing to do to get the audience oriented towards where we are and sort of what's going on. It puts the story and the main characters in a context. And then the opening scene has a very documentary feel to it. The character Fern is going through a storage unit. She's obviously having some difficult emotions. She says goodbye to a friend, and then off she is in her van. And it's a powerful opening. You'll notice, not slick. It has that documentary feel, which in part means we're dealing in natural light. It has the look and feel of pointing a camera at reality and not the slickness of a Hollywood movie. That's part of that documentary look and feel. Now, yes, we're working with a script, and that does play an important role, because in this next clip, which was from the RE people, they're the folks that provided the cameras for the film. One of the things they're wanting you to see is their crew at work and the camera that was used. And you'll notice the crew looks like a documentary crew. Very similar. Now, they're moving in unison in a way that you probably wouldn't see with a documentary film crew, because they're in Nomadland, they're working with a script. And usually in documentary filmmaking, you are not working with a script. But you get to see what their crew looks like and how they handled handheld shots. That handheld also adds to documentary look and feel. It takes some of the slickness down, but it adds warmth, it adds realism. It's like you and the audience are there, just that little bit of smooth camera motion. So many of the other sequences in the film allow you to follow Fern and follow others, the characters, follow them in this natural light and with the handheld camera, interacting with people in their lives, talking to them, all of which reveal the story. You don't need a formal interview. Of course, that would be a bit absurd with a fiction film. Now, if you think back to the clip, the RE clip where they're filming right outside the van, and how that crew is moving in unison, they are filming a script. They know where Frances McDormand is going to go. They know where she's going to look. They know what she's going to say, right? So, documentary filmmaker, you got to wait for it. Straight up, you've got to wait for it. You've got to develop a rapport with your subject such that you can be that fly on the wall, such as you can be pointing your camera at what's going on, and they're not paying so much attention to you. That is how the documentary filmmaker gets those moments that the film crew working with a script are able to get through good acting, right? Okay, up next, it will be Rich Hill, and I'm going to talk about the art of B-roll. There's about a 20-30 second clip in that film that'll teach you everything you need to know.